Stewart talking it over with his crew. There is the Stewart-Haas running order. Both Harvick and Stewart have gone out and made 2 runs. So has Danica Patrick.
First one for sure. Yeah, if you probably had that lap on the first lap time, it would be pretty good. I would have picked up more than most of them. The other one out too, and he only picked up about .06 as well on the same tires. I think his problem is I think too much. So we're going to see this.
It's kind of like golf. You know, you stand over a shot long enough, and you do all those checks you have to do, and then you forget where the hole was. You can't even hit the ball. It didn't get close.
I love Tony Stewart commentary from inside the car.
We're going to miss that next year.
Oh, yeah. You know, and we talk about these slick conditions, but when you're making qualifying runs, you got to put it on the edge. There's a lot to think about.
That's right. That.
Mike Chase Dunn preparing for his second 600-miler here in Charlotte, 18th a year ago. Last year was your first one. There was so much hype coming into this event. Did it live up to all that you'd been told?
Definitely. I mean, it's obviously a very cool event, cool weekend to do it on. Get to honor a lot of veterans and people who served for our country. So I think that's the biggest thing, you know, and not forgetting that, not taking what we do each weekend for granted. But from the race side, yes, definitely a different weekend. The race is long for sure, but everybody had talked about it so much when we got to the weekend. You know, we had talked about it for so long. It was just different coming into the weekend, but definitely having a race under our belt. We were a mile and a half short of making it 600 miles last year, so hopefully we can make it all 600 and try to be a contender.
And Ellie, do you just approach it like a lap count?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, it's the same laps for everybody. You know, and for me, a lot of times you come to the race weekend, I don't know if it's 400 or 500 miles. You know, a lot of times I show up, it's the same for everybody. So, you know, when they say halfway, we're halfway. It's kind of just, you know, what you're listening for. But that's just my opinion on it. But definitely all about perception, I think, and just trying to stay mentally engaged and keep your head where it needs to be for 600 miles.
Thanks, Chase.
That's the way kids are, Mike. They just, you know, they're 20-some years old. They don't worry. Halfway doesn't bother them. Now, if you're 40-some years old, that's a big deal.
Matty Benedetto among those sporting patriotic paint schemes for Memorial Day.
I love all the unique and creative paint schemes. There's Dale Jr. and his patriotic paint scheme. And that flag's waving, by the way.
Yes, it is. That car's moving around like a flag, I can tell you. Holy cow.
All right, Jamie's with the driver who wowed us last Saturday.
Oh, he did. He won one of the segments in the showdown, finished 7th in the All-Star race. So I see you talking to your teammate Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You've had 3 laps out on the track. What are you guys discussing about your cars?
Right now we were talking about how much hotter it is this weekend. And last weekend, you can tell a big difference in the way the cars drive. Last week, your cars were really responsive. Even though we had the skew rule, you really could drive them up into the corner and it would stick. This weekend, you expect to have a little more grip on entry, just going back to the other rules package, and you go out and it slides around all over the place. So I'm sure it's just track tip. Cars are just kind of lazy, so we're working on that. With our Advocare Ford, we're just fighting tight mostly once we get to the middle and hitting the racetrack some. So we got a few issues to work on. Basically, I named everything I could right there, but you know, we feel really good about the direction of our team with Roush Fenway Racing, the way that we're going, and what we did last weekend. We'll try to build on that this week.
That's what I was going to ask. How do you keep yourself from spinning yourself out and over-adjusting in these situations?
You know, you really got to be careful, especially a day like today where we're going to qualify at 7:15. It's going to be a lot cooler out here, so you almost revert to what you did last week when it was overcast and cool, and the track was pretty green. So you got to work on that some, and but still you got to work on your car and make it better. Like I told Matt, we just got to make sure when we go faster, we aren't hitting the racetrack tonight, and that we have enough front turn. And so it's as simple as that. That's all he's got to do for me.
Thanks, Trevor. A man who has momentum on his side.
Now, talk about momentum. He had only 5 top 10s in his prior 101 starts. He's been top 10 3 of the last 5 races, and look at this. Where did he come from?
You can't do that hole, I can tell you that.
It was a half of a hole when he decided to make that move.
I tell you, isn't it fun? I mean, watching Trevor, look at that smile on his face. Haven't seen him look like that in a couple of years, but boy, right now, the way that 6 car's running, they are really on to something.
A big uptick in performance for Trevor Bayne, who's currently 12th. There's your fast 5.